Let me explain once again, because it's becoming clearer and clearer in me, in my mind. It reminds me of a teacher who says, I explained to the student once, they didn't understand. I explained the second time, they didn't understand. I explained to them the third time, finally I understood, you know? So I'm repeating it for me to understand. The purpose of the forum is for me to present my thinking, latest thinking, and my doubts, and for you to give me feedback and tell me in our lecture, or in our culture, or in my profession, what you say is not true. I think there is another way to look at it. Or, yeah, it is true, and let me tell you why it is true in my lecture. I'm looking for cultures, lectures, and professional knowledge. Like, you know, in chemistry it does not fit, in geology it does fit. So that I'm trying to understand it as a universal theory. So I present something and you criticize or contribute. Now, I believe that you would like to discuss it among yourselves as well. So you don't have just be kind of my vehicle for myself. That was, we were going to have a separate group on the platform where you can meet on your own and debate it among yourself. But so far, we don't have enough people to do that. We'll see what happens by the end of the day. Yoram, you are late, and because of that, you didn't hear what I said. The purpose of because you are the one that likes to debate. The purpose of the forum is for me to present and for you to challenge or to add, not to have a discussion among everybody, because that is for the small groups if they get established. Having said that far, let me summarize the last meeting. And by the way, I'm not dying. I was not last week here because there's something very, very interesting that happened to me, which I would like to share with you because it's important for all of us to know. I was born in Yugoslavia. Actually, I grew up in Serbia. Serbia known to be very machos. Then in Israel, we are also very machos. So in America, people tell me you're macho. And I had difficulty, you know, with American new women liberation. Then God punished me and gave me back my cancer from the prostate. And because of that, I had to take hormone therapy. And hormone therapy, the doctor told me, is called also chemical castration. Eliminated all my testosterone. There went my macho through the disappeared. And all at once I went through a menopause, having hot flashes, hot, cold, weak, difficult, tired, and foggy. So God told me, don't learn what does it mean to be a woman. So let me tell you, I learned a hell of a lot from this experience. So I hope that my machoism will disappear thereafter. So I could not do it last week because I was really foggy. I could not think very clearly. I was hot and cold. Even now, you see, I'm in California, I'm cold. Then I'm hot, I'm cold, then I'm hot. So that's what it is. So I'm not dying. I'm not dying yet. Okay, what was the concept last week? That I did not apparently clarify it enough because the audio that I sent, that then I read the transcript, obviously it is really very confusing and too much and probably did not go through. And then what did I learn from last session from you guys and the new doubts that I have? Okay, let me start. What I presented or wanted to present to you last week is the following, just in very short, okay? And then now Tamara is going to send you the text, edit the text of that audio so you can read it, think about it, underline it, attack it, criticize it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for feedback. What I was interested in for the last 5 years, very much so, I mean, it occupied my mind a lot. What is God? Where is God? And what is God's will? As it started really with the Jesuit group of 40 Jesuits inviting me to speak about how I discovered my personal God, because I'm a Holocaust survivor and I was having a lot of trouble with the concept of God. It started, maybe it's 10 years ago. And here is the conclusions I arrived at. Very short and to the point, and then we continue. With the Big Bang, physics theory tells us time and space started. So what was there before the Big Bang? Something which is not limited by time and by space. What is that? Energy. But energy alone cannot create. It needs ingredients to create with. It's like fire. It needs ingredients. Aristotle says the ingredients are fire, water, air, and soil. Okay, I look for other insights, just not insights, something that will stimulate my thinking. And the first chapter of the Bible, Bereshit, says that God, creation, and God's spirit over the water. Wait, the water was there. And then water separated water from above, from the water from below, and gave everything a name. Water was there. It did not create water. Then he separated soil from water. Wait, soil was there. He didn't create it. So what did God really do? What was the creation in? Not in creating the elements. A geologist tells me also that everything is created from neutron, protons, and what was the fourth one? Electrons. Okay, then now you mix these three and you get the table of elements. You mix the table of elements, you get minerals. You mix the minerals, you get nature. So basically, God did not create the elements. We'll get to it later, how come not, but later. What he did was in the creation, put order. That was a creation, put order. What was the order? Again, if you read the first chapter of the Bible, it says, he created the animals leminehem, which means everybody to his own entity. They don't mix each other. A kidney does not try to be a lung does not try to become a heart does not try to become a brain. Everybody has his own function, which is, by the way, follows Aristotle's concept as well. Not Aristotle's, Plato's concept as well. Of truth, I think. Was it truth? Yes, I think. So basically, everybody has his own entity, does not interfere with somebody else's entity. Look at these fingers. Every finger is different. I don't try to be some other finger. A lion doesn't try to become a zebra doesn't try to become a snake. This is in interpersonal relations, Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, calls mutual trust and mutual respect. Respect is when you recognize the sovereignty of the other party to think and to be different. The moment I said, you're an idiot, how come you think like this? I'm not respecting you. Respect is to recognize the sovereignty to be different. That was the beginning in the creation. So the first rule by which God put order was to say mutual respect. But that's not good enough. Why? Because in order these elements that are independent of each other, a neutron doesn't try to become a proton. They have to collaborate. Why would they collaborate? Now, this is something very new, which I don't have in any of my books. I just got this illumination, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago. They realize that there is they believe, that's a word, believe. They have faith, that's where the word trust comes from. There is trust, there is faith that there is a common good. Is there a common interest? I contribute to the body as I'm a kidney. I believe in the common benefit of the body because the body now is healthy. And if the body is healthy, the kidney is healthy. Now, I know in interpersonal relations, it's common trust. What is it called in medicine? What is it called in biology? What's called in zoology? I have no idea. And I'm looking for people that know that field to help me out and say, hey, there is a word for that in that other field as well. Because why would they collaborate? Why is a forest, and there are 2 books I have here about the forest, a symbiotic system? The trees collaborate, exchange information, defend each other. The same thing is with the animals in the herd animals in the field. There is, in other words, the God put order by instituting mutual trust and respect. So now if you take this algorithm, mutual trust and respect, and put it into energy, what do you get? Constructive energy. Why? Because you get synergy, differences that collaborate and exchange information by recognizing each other right to be different creates synergy. 2 and 3 is 6, is not 5. We learn from each other and create something new. That's synergy. And there is symbiosis. We benefit from what we created. I believe that in the common good, in the common interest of what we are doing together. If you remove mutual trust and respect from energy, what do you get? Destructive conflict. And that made me come to the following conclusion. What is God? God is not Father in heaven. It's not somebody else. Oh, Lord, help me out. Oh, please, I will be a good boy. And I'm talking now about Yom Kippur, which is coming very close very soon. No, 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 no. God is an absolute algorithm and other things that existed before the creation. It's absolute. It is not related to time and space. It's an absolute value. God is an absolute value. And what is the devil? The opposite. It's one and the same thing, two sides of the same coin. Remove God, you get the devil. You want to remove the devil, put God. So what does it really mean? What are the conclusions of that? That's the most important thing is. God is not there, God is here. That's why God made us in his image, by the way. You see that? To continue his work of mutual trust and respect. I should pray to myself to follow mutual trust and respect. I create God in my behavior. I serve God in my behavior, in how I relate to the world. I think the religion as we have it today is disempowering because we are praying to somebody to save us. Somebody tell us what to do. Somebody, we are disengaging from our responsibility. It's our responsibility. And what is that responsibility? Are we treating the environment with respect? We are not. And what's happening? Scaring the nature with mines and scaring with highways, scaring the nature. Are we trustworthy? Are we serving the common interest? Absolutely not. Look what we do with chicken in factories, chicken factories. Animals, the cows, how they're being treated. What is happening here? There is no common interest with nature. We are not trustworthy and we don't respect nature. So if you remove now mutual trust and respect, how we treat nature, what happens? The devil. What's happening? The environment is falling apart. We're getting punished. So when the prayer book says, if you don't follow me, I will punish you. I will bring the drought and the flood. It's not God doing it. We are not following the algorithm. So if you don't follow the algorithm, the application does not work. The computer is broken. You don't follow the protocol. What you shouldn't be surprised. You don't follow the protocol in medicine, you're going to be sick. So we are not following the protocol. That's it. God is in us. We create God in our actions. We create the devil in our actions. It's not somebody from the outside, it's from the inside. That is my conclusion, with a lot of repercussions for thinking about it. Okay, so that was the concept. I'm sending you the text for you to read and tell me what you think. Now I'm going to continue. If you really watch it, these 4 elements, fire, water, air, and soil, as I said last week, interestingly enough, follow the PAI formula. Fire E, water A, air I, soil P. And there is an argument now because of astrology, is water I or is water air? So I'm in debate there. But fire is E. That's what makes things change from one component to another. The fire changes the composition of what it is shooting at. For me, soil is P. Why? Because that's where the things grow. That's where the production comes from. So now water and air are interrelated, by the way. See, if you look at what is water and what is air, look at it, the chemical, what is it, CO2, whatever it's called, they're very similar to each other. And they're both air and water, A and I are similar because they are the glue that connects the interdependent parts of the system. A does it mechanistically, air does it organically. Mechanistically, anyway, they integrates and air integrates, but differently. So this is one of the things that you might start reacting to, and I would really like you contribution. I would like contribution on anything I say, but this is one of the places where I am debating and I don't know. Next thing from last week. What did I learn? Yoram said that, and it was a good point, that you can have MTNR, you trust and respect somebody, but you don't love them. I said, wow, it makes sense. It put a big doubt into my mind that I've been thinking the whole week about it. But you cannot have love without MTNR. You cannot love somebody you don't trust and you don't respect. Then it's not love, it's an infatuation. But here is my conclusions, Yoram, that yes, I can have MTNR and not love. But you know what you have? What is love? Absolute MTNR, absolute integration. So when you don't have love, you have the beginning of integration. The beginning of love. You have MTNR. And that is the difference between loving and liking. You like because of. You love in spite of. Mm-hmm. So when you go to full integration, you don't look at the deficiencies. I love you nevertheless. When I love you because I trust you, because I respect you, it's just a beginning of love. But they're related. They are related. That's my response to your doubt of last week. Next one I learned. I learned this from the Boysha last week. That I don't know whether maybe it's not the somebody. The word trust in another language is really faith. Oh, yeah, it's also Slavic languages, I think, and others. And in Hebrew, it's emunah. Now, if I look at the root of the word emunah, A-M-N, it is to train. Wow. He gave me an illumination. Trust has to be practiced. Trust, don't just trust a priori. I trust you. You have to practice it. You have to test it. Respect, you have to take it a priori. Very interesting. Now watch it. If you know the map, Adizes map, decision-making implementation, it is PAI, which is decision-making, it is copy implementation, it is trust, it is respect. These two are opposites of each other. Respect is a priori. I cannot say, tell me what you think, and if I learn, I will respect you. It will not work. Because if I don't respect your right to be different, I'm not open-minded, I'm not going to learn. If I'm not going to learn, I'm never going to respect you. You have to start with respect. I accept your differences. Tell me what you think. Then I will tell you whether I respect you or not, if I learned or I didn't learn. But I start with an open mind. Trust is different. I cannot say, I trust you. Now prove me wrong. You'll be surprised how you're going to get really screwed. You have to say,
Doctor, we have someone with the hand raised. It's Yoram.
Yeah. As I will expect that to be. Yes, Yoram, but show us your face because your picture is terrible.
He cannot turn up his camera, sir.
I cannot. Okay. Go ahead, Yoram.
I can't. Well, anyhow, I just want to make a comment at the beginning of the thing. The kidney is not independent of the lung, and the lung is not independent than the liver. They depend on each other. Without all of them, without the integration, there's no elements. There are no individuals.
Sure, that's what I say.
The same is with the materials. Protons cannot live on their own. So are neutrons. So are any other element. They cannot. So the order is more important than the individuals, and the trust and respect amongst the individuals is not enough to create anything. It's not enough to create love. It's not enough to create water, soil, or air, or anything. The trust and respect is a result of implementing the order. That is, in my opinion, what is missing. The order is what determines the happening, and the trust and respect enable it. Without trust and respect, the order is meaningless.
Yoram, I agree with you. You just say the same thing that I'm saying differently, and I agree with you. You agree with you?
Okay.
Thank you. Let's continue. So this is very important. You see that here is a priori, it is to be tested. That's why I disagree with a Jewish rabbi, sage, he's not a rabbi, sage who said, kabdeu v'chashdeu, which means respect and suspect. No. Suspect and respect. Why? Because you have to first see whether I trust you before I open my mind and say, tell me whatever you want to tell me. Because if I don't trust you, I'm doubting, are you telling me something which is self-interested, or you have the common interest in mind? Guys, the word trust until now for 50 years, trust in what? Trust in what? I did not have an answer. As of 3 days ago, I have an answer. Trust in the common good. I trust the common interest. I trust that we have common interest. If I don't trust we have a common interest, I cannot trust you. So that's very, very, very important, because now if it's, by the way, I will look forward down the road when we finish talking like this, looking at what's happening in America. Why is America falling apart? And using the tools, these tools really help us understand what's going on here. Why are we losing the faith? What's going on? But let's continue with the tools. Next thing I learned from last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was in a boy show was talking about, or maybe not, I don't remember who said what. Love your neighbor as thyself. ואהבת לרעך כמוך in Hebrew. And it gave me an illumination. Hate your neighbor as you hate yourself. The counterpart. Why does it make sense to me? Maybe not to you, and I would like to have your feedback. Because of the formula of success of the Adizes methodology. Success is a relationship between external integration divided by internal disintegration. Why is that true? Because energy is fixed, what we know from physics. Now, internal disintegration consumes energy to make the system work with side bylines and bypasses and to make it work. So the limited fixed energy gets consumed on internal disintegration. Very little is left for external integration. That's why if you have a fight with your spouse or with your parents or with children over breakfast, you go to work on your knees until noontime at least. You have no energy. That's why when you have a body disintegration, when you're sick, God forbid with COVID, you cannot do anything. Why? All the energy is going inside. So if you hate yourself, it means you are disintegrated internally. You have very little energy to love externally. Illumination. Another illumination. If a healthy system to me is symbiotic. By the way, Yoram and everybody, I created this new word the last year. Symbiotic and synergetic. And symbiotic is first, you remember? Trust is ahead of respect. So symbiotic, synergetic, I added the two words together, symbiotic. If you have only synergy and you don't have symbiosis, you will have success, but not sustainable. Because people say, what is that for me? I will fight it. If you have symbiosis, but you don't have synergy, then we are not growing. What the hell are we doing here together? You need both. Like Churchill said, by the way, you see, synergy is capitalistic. Socialism is symbiotic. We take care of each other. Here we don't take care of each other, we just grow. What you really want is what's today called responsible capitalism. What Churchill said, communism or socialism is an equal distribution of poverty, and capitalism is unequal distribution of abundance. What we want is together. Then the system is symbiotic and synergetic. Then the system is successful in the long run because there is no waste of energy in the formula. Then all the energy is going out continuously. Very interesting. That leads me to the next point. One of my dreams is I should live long enough to write a book. What is a third system we need to have? Because capitalism does not work as such. Even democracy is dying. Dictatorship does not work. Socialism does not work. It's proven not to work. So what is the answer? Everybody is looking for an answer. The answer is a symbiotic system. And I wish I will have enough years to write it down what it is. And by the way, Predrag Chonic and Nebojša Čarić, imagine what system am I talking about? Yes, the self-management system that unfortunately died. That was the right system. It was symbiotic and synergetic. The only problem with that system was that you had democracy at the workplace. It's called industrial democracy. And dictatorship at the top. It doesn't work. The same thing in America, it doesn't work. We have the opposite. We have democracy so-called in the top, dictatorship at the bottom, in the corporations. So if the people are disempowered down there, why do you think they're going to feel empowered up there? Democracy is not throughout. It has to start from the family. It has to start from the family, from the company, from the community, if you want to have democracy on a macro system. Another book to be written. Next insight I got from you from last week. This is definitely Nebojša. Freedom, justice, harmony, beauty. What do you think? Freedom is a function of MTNR. How can you have a freedom of thought unless there is mutual respect? How can you have economic freedom unless there is mutual trust? Somebody is going to take advantage of you. The justice, that is even more interesting. And there is another one, truth. Justice is a function of MTNR. Can you have justice? Look, maybe we should start first with truth, because truth will drive to justice. I'm claiming that there is no absolute truth. Anything we think is truth, several years down the road is going to be proven to be wrong. What is truth? When we exchange information, you and me, Yoram, and we come to a conclusion, you say this, I say that, and we exchange information, we come to some point where we agree on something on a higher level of our disagreement, we achieved a truth of two people. Now Nebojša joins us, disagrees with us. We go to the third level, higher level of truth. I will find truth, I will claim, if I can take all the people on earth, stop the world from change, and have us argument between ourselves and learn from each other and come to conclusion what we agree to. That will be the absolute truth. But there is absolute value, mutual trust and respect. Why? For discussion. Then justice. I think it is driven from the word truth for you to think about. Harmony is very interesting. Harmony is not the same voice. Harmony, different voices creating harmony, complementing each other. That's why the Adizes methodology talks about complementary teams based on mutual trust and respect. One moment, Yoram. One moment, Yoram. You see that? Okay, Yoram, before I go to the next point.
Justice, in my view, is what is the right thing to do. The answer to the right thing to do is justice.
That's a P solution. The right thing to do. Do you realize it was a P? To do, because of the word to do. No, it is a PA. Right is A, to do is P. So for you, justice is PA. I do the right thing. That's why you see the type A, the bureaucrats, believe that they have justice in their hand. They know what is right and everybody else is wrong. There is no either in your solution. There is no I in that solution either, my way or the highway. I know what is right and you have to do the right way, the right thing to do. So thank you for the illumination, more things for us to think about it. How would justice be if you add E and I as well? By the way, all of you that are listening, the beauty of this methodology is I don't need to give a test to find out your personality. Do you know how long it takes me to identify personality now? Within 15 minutes. I just watch. I watch Yoram, I know. He's a big E. He has difficulty agreeing on anything. He will take the same thing and say it in his own words. It has to do it. The beauty of the deal methodology is you can identify personality, predict what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, what kind of a conflict they're going to have just by watching them, not by giving them a test, by watching them. And listening to the words they use. Listen to the conclusions they arrive. You immediately can tell, you know, I have enough experience, but if you practice this a little bit, you come to some incredible, powerful tool because you know how to treat them. Because you can read, by the way, one of my best books I recommend to you to read, not to read, to study. I studied myself. Is Leading the Leaders. How to deal with people whose style is different than yours. It will help your marriage, trust me. It will help your relationships because you will not approach type E with a type P solution. Oh my God. So you have to know how do you approach people and deal with people whose style is different than yours. My most important book for communication and for relationships, by the way. Okay, for building a company, my best book is Managing Corporate Life Cycles. Okay, next thing that I picked up from you guys. Now we are going to something totally new. We did not discuss last week. I told this theory of mine, what is God? And where is God? Everywhere. In a tree. Why? Because it's synergetic. The tree is symbiotic and synergetic. In a flower, in a baby, in an animal, anything alive is synergetic. Do you realize it? So where is God? Everywhere. That is, by the way, Spinoza. And if somebody knows philosophy, please help me and tell me more about Spinoza because I know nothing. That's what I know only. And I might be wrong. I'm really looking for people to join this group that are philosophers and tell me what other philosophers say because I never took a course in philosophy or in psychology, as a matter of fact. So I was I was looking for somebody very religious. I found a Jewish guy who is very religious and I told him my belief, what is God? Where is God? And God's will is practice mutual trust and respect. That's the will. And when he says, I'm the only God and don't serve false gods. What are false gods? Those gods, those ideologies, those political ideologies that preach lack of mutual trust and respect. Communism, fascism, racism. What else? Fanatic religions. In the name of God, they're serving the devil because they don't accept diversity and they fight diversity and they try to kill anybody that's diverse. They're not serving God. They're serving the devil. So now I said I caught some very religious Jew and I told him, sit down, I'll tell you what I think God is. He listened to me till the end. He says, I agree with you. But who created energy? Who created the water? Who created the fire? Who created the soil? Who created the air? It took me one level beyond. So I started to think about it. Here is what I think, and I look for your feedback, please. The mistake he was doing, in my judgment, is that he was a linear thinker. Linear thinkers believe, that's one interpretation of linear thinking. that there is a beginning and there is an end. And my conclusion is it's not true. It's circular. There is no beginning, there is no end. That's why God is no beginning, no end. In the Jewish prayer says God is without beginning, without end. It is circular. Earth is circular. Go west from Los Angeles, you will hit Japan. Continue going, continue going, continue going, you'll come back from the east. Very soon my book will be out, my biography, my personal biography, autobiography. And I had a death experience. We don't die. We go into a different life, spiritual life, not physical life. It is circular. It is not linear. Look, guys, there is no life, there is no cold hot. Go very, 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 very cold, you will start feeling hot. Have a temperature, hot, 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 you'll feel cold. There is no hate love. You love so much, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much, you start hating the guy. Because you depend on them so much. Any little thing they do that disturbs your love. And by the same token, by the way, hate, 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 hate. At the slightest sign that there is hope, love develops. Love develops. It is circular. Black and white is not also opposite. Go to the North Pole. White, 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 white. You can get blind, black. Close your eyes. So black, you see white. It's circular. So who created it? It was not created. It was there forever. Can you think about that? That was there forever. Nothing was created. It was there forever. How can it be? I don't know. Forever. Next one. Next 2 points. Respect is multidimensional. Trust is multidimensional. Let's put them in PAEI. And what I want you to realize that PAEI is a code. It's not only for personality styles and mismanagement styles that people know me by. I look at language. I look at everything now and I realize that is what a PAEI is. Why? Because P makes you effective, A makes you efficient, both of them in the short run, E and I make you effective and efficient in the long run. Every system aims to be effective and efficient in the short and the long run, any living system. They have all the 4 components. And if one of them is weak, they show the weakness in their existence. Now let's talk about respect in behavior. What is a P, behavior for respect? P means to do something that exhibits respect. Do. P means to do, not to talk, not to imagine, not to create, to do. What will the respect be? I offer my chair to an elder person to sit on. I open the door for you to walk through. I'm showing respect. I'm doing something that manifests respect. What is A of respect? I do what's written in the manual that is respectful. I say thank you, please. That shows respect. And there are symbols for that. You have to be very careful. I'll tell you something that will make you, I don't know, nobody is from Brazil, but I had some very interesting experience many, many years ago in Brazil. I was lecturing to 200 executives, top executives. At that time, my lecture about management was, what is management? I will go to the board and draw a circle and say, to know where you are, and draw another circle to know where you want to go, and make where you are to where you want to go happen. That is management. But I was lecturing to these executives and they didn't have a board for me. So I used my hands to express what I want. So I made a circle with my fingers. I said, management is where are you? Where are you going and how do you get there? The people were rolling in the aisles with laughter. They could not stop laughing. And I don't know what I did. What did I do wrong? Well, in Italy, this means va bene. That's very good, right? In Brazil, this means asshole. So management is an asshole and an asshole. And they were, so you have to be very careful. Respect is to follow the local manual of the local culture. And since I lectured in 52 countries of the world, I made a lot of mistakes with respect because I did not know what fits the local culture. That is respect following the manual of the local culture. What is respect? E. That I learn from you, you learn from me. I recognize your right to be different so I can learn from it. I'm growing. I grow from disagreements. I don't grow from agreements. If two people agree on everything, one of them is not necessary. And what is respect? I respect. Do to your neighbor what you want to be done to you. I believe. I don't know. Because it kind of drifts into trust, into common interest. And what is trust? The P will be deliver what you promise so I can trust you. What is the A? Walk your talk. You said it, you're behaving like you said you are going to. What is an E? Faith in a common interest. What is an I? That's a beautiful one for me. I'm Sephardic Jew, and in my language, 15th century Spanish, whenever I was sick, my mother would say, yo para ti, which means, may I be in your place? May I be sick for you, my son? I would rather be sick than you be sick. Wow, that's common goods. I'm willing to sacrifice my life for you to live. That I believe is an I interpretation of trust. And two more, and then I will open the field to learn something new. I'm asking reaction to everything I say today. I'm asking for your reaction. Please send it to me by email, send it to me as whatever way you want, so I can learn from you. I'm learning from you. The purpose here is to tell you what I think and to learn from you. That's my purpose. That's why I opened it up to multiculturals, multi-professions, multi-knowledge, whatever, because you learn from differences. The reason why I developed this methodology is because I traveled 52 countries. From every country, I learned something. From every culture, I learned something. And I work with any industry you can imagine, except some illegal ones. And from every industry, I learned something. So I learn from differences. Let me learn from you. What is the next thing from new for me? God does not say love your parents, say honor your parents. When you get married, at least in the Jewish religion, they don't say and promise to love each other. No. Why? Because love, you cannot force people to love. Cannot. Now, if mutual trust and respect is a function that creates love, then you cannot force people to respect and trust. So what the hell do we do? Can you force people to respect? It will be artificial. Can you force people to trust? It will be artificial. So what the hell do we do? Now, my dear guru from India, Chariji, says, love is a choice we make. Love is a choice. It's you. You have to decide if you want to live with love or not. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can force you. Which means that mutual trust and respect is a choice we make. And that brings me to the next point. Some people are driven by two different forces, either by fear or by faith. One of the people that works for me operates from faith. is always positive. He believes, he believes, he gives you always a very optimistic budget. He believes he can conquer the world. He believes. He trusts people. It's just what a wonderful way to live. I, on the other hand, being a Holocaust survivor, I live continuously in fear. Continuously in fear. I'm afraid I'm going to die tomorrow and I will not have enough time to say everything I want to say and to write everything I want to write. So I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when you don't have faith, when you live out of fear, you don't have trust. I have a major problem with mutual trust and respect. I preach it, I teach it, I have a difficulty practicing it. Because, and by the way, my friend, the psychologist, Dovi and I said, tell me what you teach and you preach, and I will tell you your psychological problem. Because we all work on the problems we have, You're absolutely right. I teach it, but I have a difficulty practicing it. So the guru that I visited in the Himalaya told me, start small. Love, mutual trust, and respect is a muscle. Start small and build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. And you know what? I've been doing it for the last 10 years, and I believe I'm a different person today than I was 10 years ago. So if you read my biography, my autobiography, you will see how I changed a lot. So there is future, guys. Any one of you is suffering, there is future. There is future. And the last point, 2 points. I have a book about life cycle of companies, organizations. And I realize that there is a life cycle of everything. Look at the religion. It starts with I. Jesus Christ did not write anything. Buddha did not write anything. He was preaching, practicing, showing an example. Then came A, Peter, wrote the manual, wrote the New Testament, manuals, how to behave. So the A started taking place of the I. And that's why today the Catholic Church is in trouble. I is also the window. Pedophilia, all kinds of sexual problems. What happened to the I? They follow the A. The A can undermine I. You know that, right? They're incompatible. The more A you will have, the less I you will have. So if you want to reduce the A, you have to increase the I. Then came the E. The religion, Christian religion, started splitting to different denominations. The P was the last one, just practice it. Interesting how religion changed over time. And then the life cycle of creation, very interesting. First, the wind of God, the Spirit of God was there. I was first. Then he separated water from above and the water from below. No, he separated day from night, E, energy. Then he separated water from above from the water from below, A. And then he created the soil, separated the oil. So the sequence was EAAP. And how do we create? We create the opposite. Build companies. P, A, then E. No, we start with E, then we bring the P, then we bring the A, then we bring the I. This is a wrong sequence, my dear friends. So in my new book about life cycle of organizations, which is now in the old book, in the old edition, is only a chapter at the end because they didn't know enough. The way to make companies should grow, not how they grow. My book is how they grow. How they should grow is start with I. That's why that coach, famous coach of the Silicon Valley says, first build your team. First build the team and see how you work with your team. Do you have a good team? Do you have people you trust and you respect? Now, what is the idea? What is the mission? That the team has together, E. Then, where do we get the money? Do we get the resources? Where do we get the people? A. Then we start the company. This is the sequence of the new economy. And my book is the old economy, guys. So we need a new book. Not how it is, but how it should be. I think I finished and I'm tired. So I gave you everything I have. Food for thought. This video is going to be put in the Tamara. Tell them where so they can access it. And we will transcribe it. Tamara, transcribe what I did today. I will edit it and send it to you and ask for your comments and recommendations and additions and whatever you have, responses, so you enrich. And by the way, please have no problem disagreeing with me, because look, disagreements are necessary. Why? Because it makes me think what's wrong and I come with a new idea. If nobody disagrees with me, I cannot get any new ideas. So I need your help, whether it's a disagreement or any additions. Now I'm opening the field for anything, whoever wants to talk. Who wants to say anything?
Sir, we have 3 questions in the Q&A section from Francesca.
Okay, let's go, Francesca, because Yoram already had this chance twice. Francesca, por favor.
Oh, hello. I just react about what you were saying, and what about wait, I can't remember his name. Yeram told when he talked about justice, he says that justice for him is the right thing to do, and I just ask who decide what is the right thing to do. Okay. And then I had also other 2 questions when you talk about we are not going, it's not linear or thinking, but it's circular. And if there is no beginning and no end, when going through space, we should at some point come back to Earth. And that was a little provocation for me. And I was also asking about time. Is time also circular? Because you were talking about space. Space is circular, starting from Los Angeles and going through Japan and coming back. But what about time?
Thank you, Francesca. Wonderful. You really gave me wonderful things to think about. It's wonderful. That's beautiful. That's the purpose of this forum. Michael Steiner. And I wish I could see your face, because I love to see people's faces.
So first of all, thank you. I think disagreeing with you is easy. I think digesting, another good word with D, is harder. It requires us to put ourselves into what you said, and that requires more time digesting. I think one of the thought-provoking in what you said about algorithm is that it grows. Those people in machine learning would know what I'm saying. Algorithm evolves. It's not something someone codes and it's done. Not at all. Algorithm evolves and grows. And if we are talking about the algorithm in us, then you're opening a mind-provoking something I need at least to digest.
Wow.
I would throw back at you that love could also be an algorithm. Certainly from the 40th year of that which you are referring to, I would say with humility that I knew nothing at the first year, and that algorithm keeps evolving and becoming greater every single minute, not only every single day. So I think your idea about God as an algorithm, and possibly other things in us as an algorithm, is something that might be bigger than we can digest. Certainly not resist or disagree. It will take time, at least for me, to
Michael, yeah.
cook it.
Good. Continue.
No. I think there's a lot to digest in what you said in the last 2 sessions that I've been in, and I'd like to read it. Like any research, I need to read it and assimilate it into me and make it my own so that I can respond more. That was just the appetizer.
Before you disappear, where are you located? Who are you? So I really like to know the people. Who are you? What do you do? Where
So
are you?
I'm located in Pittsburgh in the last 22, 23 years. Before that, I was stationed in Moscow. But most of my life, most of my career has been like yours, only in the sense, with humility, only in the sense of working with many cultures, many countries. Everything I've learned and acquired from others, not from myself.
What do you do? What profession are you?
I manage a skills training academy, an organization called BEST, an organization that was established 30 years ago by Texas Instrument. I'm the CEO of that organization.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I
Pleasure
would like
being
to,
with you.
let me react to what you're saying already. Number one is absolutely agree with you. Like I've been mulling over what happened 2 weeks ago for 2 weeks before I came with what I'm actually talking about today. So I commit to you that we will transcribe, you will have the video and an edited transcript. I'm sending you today, Tamara, not today, Sunday, Monday, the transcript of the last week, of the 2 weeks ago. What is God? Where is God? What does God want? So I'm sending you the transcript so you can look at it, make changes. By the way, it's in Word, so you can make any comments you want on the side, add to it, change the documents, whatever you want to do. I'm sending it to all of you to react to. Second thing you said about is algorithm growing. Absolutely. Look, what I was saying is God is MTNR, is an absolute value. And absolute MTNR is love. So the algorithm of MTNR is love, and it is growing. That's what Shariji, the guru, said. Love is a muscle. Love is a muscle. MTNR is a muscle. You have to build it. You have to practice it. It's not static at all. So I agree with you. Everything you said, that's what it is. So we are in agreement. Maybe I was not clear about it before. You have to build it. It's in us. We have to build it. It is not given. You have to build it. You can destroy it, you can build it. It's up to us. It's up to us whether we practice God or we practice the devil, whether we practice constructive behavior or destructive behavior. And how far do you go? How far is your love? I make love in circles. First, I love myself. I love my children. I love my family, my extended family. I love my community. I love my city. I love my country. I love the universe. How far do you go? How big is your love? How far do you go? So this is absolutely true. It is a growing, changing concept. It's not fixed. But you probably have more to say thereafter. Who is the next one? Yoram wanted to talk. Yoram.
I wanted to make just two comments, and that people were talking about the question between definitions of items and algorithms. Algorithm is a way to define anything. And if you want to look at love or at justice, the two issues that were at questions here, love depends on the components of it. You can say, I want to limit love in my definition at one time to only the components of my family and my neighbors. At other time, you want to define love to your love of the trees in the neighborhood or the love of your climate. Or the life of anything. This is an algorithm that is based on the boundary conditions, like every algorithm in physics. The boundary conditions depend the result. So is justice. What is justice? Justice is the right thing to do, depends on the question. If you have two different questions, you have two different answers. So you can't just say justice is universal because it is defined by some kind of components. Not true. It is defined by the question, by the algorithm, and that is important to something that you have not spoken about yet, and that's Sindag. How important is Sindag in your determination of what do you want to do next morning?
Right. Well, most people don't know Sindag. We'll have to cover it in another session, I think, one at a time. Thank you, Yoram. Thank you, thank you. Now, I want to ask you the question, though, Yoram. You say, maybe MTNR is not an algorithm because an algorithm is a way to define something. I thought wrong, that algorithm is a formula, no?
Yeah, but it is the formula in which you process the components
So
of the
that's
question.
it. So I'm right. For me, then, in that case, MTNR is a algorithm. No problem with that. Now let me react to, before we go to somebody else, to Francesca. Very interesting what you said. Made me think. I will think about it even more the next week. Who decides what is the right thing to do? This brings me to the discussion about truth. Truth is not in me. Truth is between us. I don't possess the absolute truth. I'm a relativist. I'm a relativist, I think, in philosophy. I don't possess the truth. And I don't believe you possess the truth. Together, we can find the truth. Together, we agree it is day. Now it's day. If you don't agree with me, it's day, then it's not day. Until you and me agree, it is day. I think truth is between us, like God is between us in how we relate to each other. That's why mutual trust and respect. God is in between. The mistake we always do is to personify problems, to personify solutions. The problem is Trump is a problem. Wait a moment. What about the system? What don't personify God? It is in the system. I look at the system. So the truth is in the system. Now, who decide what is the right thing to do? We. Now, wait, sorry, before that. I differentiate between decision making and decision taking. Let me explain this. It's in my books, by the way. And some of you read 2 or 3 of my books. I have 26 books. So listen to me. I learned this from language. In Spanish, we say decision taking, tomar decisión. In French and French as well. In German, they say decision hitting. You hit it, no, not French. Yeah, that is German. Turkish, it is decision giving. Then I started asking myself, what's the difference? What's the difference between decision hitting, decision taking, decision making, decision giving? There must be a reason there. And here is a reason that I have. We make a decision, it's like cooking. Decision taking, we eat it, what we cooked. Decision taking is when you say enough. The decision is you finalize. P. Decision making is I listen to you, you listen to me, we debate, we go back and forth, until we say enough. The decision is decision taking. What is the right thing to do? You have to first make a decision making. What do you think is the right thing to do? What do I think is the right thing to do? That's now you have a complementary team. That's why PAI is a complementary team. The E will tell you what the right thing to do when he's thinking about the world. The A says, calm down, you have a mess. You're going to kill the company. You're going too fast. Where are you going? You're a dreamer. A will put it here, okay? The P will say, guys, we need to act. The situation calls for this action. That is the right thing to do when the situation calls for it. And he says, no, don't make a decision that's going to set a precedent which is going to hurt us in the long run. And the A says, guys, it's not in the manual. Let's follow the manual. Do you see this? And the I says, guys, please talk to each other. Come on, let's agree on something. So decision making should be done by a group of people. different styles that complement each other. That's how you make a decision. That's the right thing to think. Who takes the decision? Whoever is going to be responsible to carry it out and will live with the consequences. I don't believe in democracy. I believe in a benevolent dictatorship. I listen to everybody, and then I take the decision. I make a decision with everyone, but I take the decision. Why? Because I will have to implement it. I will have to live with it. I will have to live with the consequences of the decision. I don't want to have a kibbutz. We all decide, 300 people decide what to do. The kibbutz went bankrupt. Same thing was happening with the Sevi self-management system. Eventually, nobody wanted to be a director in a company. No. I am responsible, but I don't want to make a decision alone because I want to learn what others have to say so I can make an educated decision. So we together find out what the right thing to do. But who will really decide, finalize, after it's discussed enough, is the person. By the way, I have a book about it, how to run effective meetings. Please go to the bookstore. It's called publishing.adizes.com and see all the books there, so many subjects. How to make decisions together. We make decisions together, but we take a decision alone. At the end of the day, somebody has to take the decision. And that's the right thing to do. Because somebody is taking responsibility after hearing everyone. It might not be right, it might be wrong. Now I have another thing in one of my blogs. I don't believe we make mistakes. Mistakes don't exist. Why? Because if you do your best, you did your best, how can it be a mistake? Well, it's proven to be a mistake. Well, I couldn't have done better than that. Now I'm going to learn from the mistake to do it better next time. But if I do the best I can, I am not making a mistake. I could not be making my mistake as long as I did my best I can. I learned from everyone. We looked at it from all angles. There is nothing else we can do. We make a decision. We take a decision. Now it turns out to be wrong. Well, something we did not know. Opportunity to learn. Opportunity to do it better next time.
Sorry, Dr.
Last thing here.
Okay.
Last thing here. You talk about universe being circular. You know, you touched on something that I don't share with anybody, but I'm going to share with you. Maybe it is circular. If you go deeper and deeper into yourself, you get to the cell, keep going down, we might find another universe down there. We live in a universe that creates a universe. This is a crazy idea. I might be crazy. They put me in a madhouse, but something tells me it is not linear. There must be something. If you continue going down there, you're going to find something from there. I think so. This is really blowing my mind. Thank you for bringing this point to the surface. Somebody else wanted to speak?
Yeah.
Who? I don't see a hand.
Yoram.
Oh, Yoram. Okay, Yoram.
Two comments. One, you say that there is a difference between making a decision and taking a decision, and in my opinion, they are the same. The responsibility of the leader is to build a team that he or she can rely on, should be complementary, and to listen to all of them with mutual trust and respect, or change the team that there is no a member of the team that does not enable the team to function with mutual trust and respect. But once it is done, leadership is not about democracy. Leadership is not even about compromise. Leadership is about making a decision. Now, if you make a decision and you lose the trust and respect of your team, then you're done. But as long as you can maintain the trust of your team, then you are a good leader. And if you want to take an example between how decisions are made in China or even in Russia, and compare them to how decisions are made in the United States or in Europe or in other democracies, you will find out that those decisions that are made in Russia or China can be implemented. Maybe not perfectly, but can be implemented. But the decisions that are made in democracies can never be implemented. And it is all because of the level of mutual trust and respect that the decision maker has within its own management team. And that's what means to manage right.
Okay, Yoram, we don't have always to agree, right? I disagree with you. I actually disagree. It's not that I have a different opinion. I disagree with you. Decision making is a cooking. Decision taking is eating it. Somebody has to say, I'm responsible. It is my decision. I listen to all of you with respect and with trust. I learn from all of you. And now I have to bite the bullet because there is always left at the end of the day uncertainty. And who should do that? The problem in the kibbutz was that nobody was taking a decision, and you cannot take a decision with 300 people. You cannot. That was the problem with anarchy. You cannot. Somebody has to say, I heard it, I take responsibility. That is a leader. The leader takes the decision, but he does not take the decision. He does not make and take. If he makes and takes a decision, is a dictator. I make my own decision and I take it and don't listen to anybody. Anarchy is we make a decision, nobody takes the decision. Nobody is responsible. That's anarchy. What you want is a combination of the two. By the way, guys, if you pay attention to my methodology, it is constantly integrating opposites. Do you realize? I'm constantly integrating opposites. Constantly opposites. It's very interesting. I'm realizing it constantly. Like a priori accept respect, don't a priori accept trust. Opposites. Opposites. Dictatorship with democracy. Democracy in decision making, dictatorship in implementation. Constantly opposites getting integrated. This is a driving force now. When I get stuck in my methodology, I look where are the opposite forces working together. And by the way, the problem in Russia, and I worked in Russia a lot for many years, you have exactly when you said decision making, decision taking the same. That's a problem. He makes and takes the decision by himself. And that's why he got into trouble all the time. They always get into trouble because they don't make a decision together. They take a decision by themselves and make a decision by themselves. And the same thing is true for China as well. And that is based on lack of trust. You're right. It's related to trust and respect. That's true. Okay. Francesca, you had your hand up. We have another 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, I just would like, I'm not sure I will be able to explain myself, but I will try. When you explain about making a decision, that means that the complementary team need to have respect for each other, okay?
Right.
But there is also the fact that this team need to have trust in the guy that will take the decision, okay?
Bravo, absolutely.
But this trust cannot be based on power or on only authority. I think it should be based on influence. Is that correct? But it's not easy to find that, to find people that can work together as a complementary team and make a decision that then can be changed by the person in charge of the decision. And you need a lot of trust, and I think it's not easy to find or to build or to build. Yes. Okay.
Francesca, you're very right, and let me tell you why. I just finished a book, and I finished 3 books, by the way, during this pandemic. I finished a book about my personal life story and how I developed the methodology, what I learned from it, how I changed, etc. and then another book about how to coach with Adizes methodology. We are starting a course to teach people how to coach with Adizes. And the third book, which relates to what you're talking about, Francesca, is called The Power of Collaborative Leadership. And the conclusion there is that a leader is a person, not what he knows, but what he is, he or she is. And what is he or she is? A person who commands and grants trust and respect. I'm respected and I'm trusted. And I also trust and respect others. It is mutual. A good leader is somebody who is trusted and respected and who respects and trusts others. Let me try first with others. Very interesting. I was listening to one on the internet interview with Elon Musk. He says, "What did you learn from your practice, as a leader, that you would like to change?" He says, "I wish I paid more attention to the character of the people I hired than to the knowledge they have." Wow, welcome. Good morning, Ellen. First of all, hire people you trust and you respect. Respect means who disagree with you without being disagreeable, and thus from whom you learn. If you learn from them, but they're very disagreeable, they make you blood boil and you get so upset. You learn something, but let me tell you, it was not worth it. Forget them. If they agree with you all the time, you learn nothing. Forget them. The person I'm going to promote in Adizes Institute to be the managing director, to take my place, is only 26 years old. You know why? In 2 years, he works with me. He all the time disagrees with me respectfully, and he won the argument all the time. He was better than me. I said, I trust you and I respect you. You're my follower. That's what you want. You want to hire people who are trustworthy, they deliver what they promise, and what they cannot promise, they tell you, I cannot develop this, it's too much for me, or whatever reason. You can trust them, and you learn from their disagreement that they disagree in a very respectful way. What does it mean? They don't try to preach you. They don't try to change you. They respect your right to disagree with them. That is a leader this way out. And he has to behave the same way. He's willing to listen to other people, learn from other people. And what do you do with people that you need because he's the best engineer? I don't know. The engineer that if you lose him, oh my God, the competition will get them and you're going to be in trouble. What do you do with this person? Don't fire him. Put him in a cage, give him a banana, get the knowledge, but don't let him in the corridor to manage anything. Give him a title, chief technology something, and pay him just to give you knowledge, but don't let him manage. He's not a leader. He's a source of information. What makes a good leader is not what you know, it's what you are. I'm reacting to what you were saying. That is very, very, very important. Okay? All right. I think we have another 5 minutes, but in the last 10 minutes, I want to know who is who. I know who Predrag is, I know who Michael is, I know Francesca, I know you. Andrei Klushin, can you tell us who you are, what you do, where you are? Andrei? He apparently is assistant to hear, but not to speak. All right, we lost him. Michael Blugerman, I think you talked last time. Are you the one from Canada?
Yes, I am. Toronto.
Yeah, right. You're the psychiatrist. Psychologist or psychiatrist?
Psychotherapist.
Psychotherapist. Very good. All right, now we need to know now who is Najwa Mohu and where are you?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Me, I am a business consultant from Europe.
From where?
Where in Toulon, this is a country in south of France.
But you don't have a French name. Where are you from originally?
My origin from, my parents are from Morocco.
Ah, Najwa. Okay, good.
Yes.
Salam alaikum, rahmatullah. Thank you. And what do you do? You're a business consultant?
Yes, I am business consultant, but my business is in not very good health because I mixed a lot of things, and now I need to, I think, to learn from you and to make my ecosystem and my model in, I think, in alignment of who I am. Because
Okay,
I have
well,
not experiences.
by the way, for all of you to know, Adizes
Okay.
Institute that is delivering that, applying the Adizes methodology and philosophy has the following departments for your knowledge. We have the publishing. As I told you, we have 26 of my books and about 5-6 books of other people about the methodology, all in the bookstore called publishing.adizes.com. We have online training in the methodology called Adizes Online, and all of it is in adizes.com website. Then we started this week a whole program to train people how to be coaches, and that might be good for you, Najwa, how to start being a coach before you become a consultant. And then we have digital products and services. We have a test, how to test people for PAI. So you don't have to rely on your observations, but you can give them a test before you hire them. And I think that's it. That's what the LTD, the testing, coaching, and organizational transformation. Yeah, these are the 4 departments. And I have many, many books, like the new books on coaching, etc. I welcome you to pick up anything you're interested. I think Andrei Klushin, I saw you that you reappeared. Who are you and where are you and what do you do?
Hello, Mr. Adizes. I'm from Moscow. I'm a financial director. And I am alumni from the Russian Academy, Russian Presidential Academy. I know Kondrotas.
Yeah, Virginius, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you work now as a manager, as a leader, as an executive?
I work. Yes, I am executive at the moment.
Very good. Okay, good. Now, what I would like you to do, and now we have, please, in everybody, we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people. Each one of you, no more than 1 minute. How was the session today? How would you like to make it better? Start with Francesca.
Like someone said before, it's a lot of subjects and things. I need time to think about it and then write something to you. And I'd like to maybe to, like you suggest before, to try to discuss in little groups. Maybe if we are enough to do it, it could be nice to communicate with other people about love, about God, and think about it. I'd like to do that.
Thank you. Neboisha.
I think it would be very useful to have the main topic announced in advance. That means half of the session or 1/3 of a session to be devoted to such topic. That means to navigate our thoughts and be more prepared for the next session.
Okay. Najwa?
Yes, I'm listening.
How was it for you?
Now I can just, I was not, having a lot of, because my cognitive are very developed, but I feel more aligned that what I am doing, and I think coaches training can be the good learning, like in English, for me.
Okay. Yoram? Yoram?
אני לא הרמתי את היד.
No. What do you think about the session? Do you want, how can we make it better or not better? Reinforcement.
I think that one, you should do it as a Zoom meeting and have people when they speak show their faces as well, because I think that you can learn a lot from listening to a person when you look at their body language. That's one thing, and the other thing is that when you are facilitating this discussion, the people that are there, each one that raises their hand, you can see them on the order that they raise their hand, and you can decide who do you want to respond at the right time. And that way will make the discussion more effective and more efficient.
Thank you. Andrei Krushin.
I have the same like Nebosha.
Okay. Michael Steiner.
So to answer your question, Ichak, how was the session in one word? Illuminating. I would stick to that word. Surprisingly, Yoram, I didn't feel, and that's unusual for Zoom, the void of a video camera. I need to think why. So that's pointed to you, Ichak. I don't know why. Maybe because you achieved something maybe connected to the illumination. I don't have an answer why. So this was a breakthrough for you today. The powerfulness of the word was way better than any session I've attended. I have no answer to myself. What was it? I would stop here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Predrag Jonic.
Dr. Adizes, the session was great. I picked up some excellent quotes, but I would agree with Nebojša that maybe it would be better if we knew in advance what the topic is, so we could prepare in advance about the topic. That's it.
Michael?
Yeah, I apologize for coming in late. I didn't check my email, and I'm glad to see that you're healthy and willing to prepare for today. In terms of improvement, I think I need a little help digesting some of these high-level concepts to practical realities. And I would like to hear, if possible, some translation of some of these principles to people on the ground or companies on the ground, or how this notion was derived, resolved, addressed, stuff like that. That would help me.
Thank you. I will only react to Nebojša. Thank you, all of you, for your remarks. I have to take the decision now. You see, we just made the decision. Now I have to take the decision. Nebojša, I wish I could put the topic up front. I wish. You know why? Because I don't know what's going to come up. But I will try. I will try to pick up a subject like what is trust, and we'll go and try to discuss it. But the purpose is not discussion. The purpose is to stimulate and to challenge. Now, the reason why most of you said what you said, that it was too much, it was like drinking from a fire hose. I understand that. I've been thinking about this for 5 years. This is not something, except for the last concept about common interest. I don't expect you to grab it. I mean, I claim that when you listen to a very good lecture, you don't hear more than 30% of the lecture. The better is the lecture, the less you hear. The more interesting the lecture, the less you hear. Why? Because you stimulate your thinking, and as you're thinking, but the speaker continues speaking there, you don't hear what he's saying because you're listening to yourself. So I'm not surprised if you feel overwhelmed and just, I have to think about it. Well, you don't feel bad. This is normal. As a matter of fact, I recommend to all people all the time to read my books 3 times, to look my videos 3 times. I myself, I swear to you, I listened to my own video and I said, wow, that was a good idea. But I said it. I forgot. So basically you have to see, because you don't, the more interesting is the subject, the less you hear. The less you hear, the less you listen, because you're busy processing what you heard before. Thus, we will transcribe all of this, send it to you. Then you can look at it, read it, think about it, and then send me what you, or don't send me. At the next meeting, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? After you have some time to digest. We have to stop. I never want to be late. I'm late 1 minute. Thank you very much. Hasta la vista, do viđenja, litraot, whatever language has been, do viđenja. Ciao, my friends, all the best. Salam alaikum.